my first makeup tutorial. I just got set up with all my stuff. This is mostly for Jessie, my best friend, but I am gonna post it on YouTube. So hopefully this makes her smile, and if anyone else happens across it, it was not too embarrassing. I do not claim to be good at makeup by any means, but I have a few friends who know my makeup addiction and have asked or just have said, oh, you know, I don't know how to do makeup that well. So this is how I do my makeup. The first thing I do is wash my face. When I don't use wipes to wash my face, I'm too lazy to do it, and I do not wash it. These are my favorite wipes ever. They're the Yes to Tomatoes. I love these. Normally, I don't do moisturizer, but I just got this amazing La Mer Mini. It is tiny. It is 0.1 ounces. So I'm gonna let my face dry off just a second, and then I'm gonna moisturize with my La Mer. Next, what I do is I use my wipe and I clean off my brow brush. So I'm just gonna wipe it. I could wash it, but eh. Next, I use Anastasia Dip Brow. This is by far the best product for brows I've ever used. So I take some out of the top and I just get a lot off so there's an even coat on the brush. So these brows are not how I like. They typically never are because I have a really hard time doing the middle. It just looks bad and they look too thick. But once I put my foundation on, I wipe a little in the front and it looks a lot better, I promise. I use the Hourglass foundation stick. I use this Real Techniques face brush. It's very densely packed. I think it's the all over face brush. Once that's all done, I like to go in with my Hourglass Ambient Lighting palette. I go in with the middle and I use the same brush and just press it in to my skin to set the foundation. Now I'm gonna go in and contour, and I'm gonna use the same palette. I go in, I get a lot of product, and I find this pocket of my cheek right here. You can see I already have a shadow. When I put anything close to it, that's where my shadow is, so that's right where I rub in. We're just gonna define that contour that already exists, and then what I do is I fan upwards a little bit. So this is our blending. I'm gonna put a little down the edge of my jaw and go and do the same thing to the other side. Carve that in, get a lot of product here. So I go in with my big brush and squish it down and do the side of my nose as well. I'm gonna go back in with this highlight and highlight down my nose. I'm gonna actually pick up this highlight and put it under my eye a little bit into the top of my cheekbones. Now, think of it like the ice cream that has the chocolate and the vanilla, but what's in the middle? Strawberry. I just got this new blush for my birthday from Sephora. It's their birthday gift, and it came with this matching lipstick, and to coordinate, I'm gonna use this blush so I can use this lipstick. So I go the apples of my cheeks and back, right between this highlight and this contour. And you can see I've just put a little bit of color back into my skin. I took it all out with the foundation, and now I'm adding it back with the contouring and the blush. I go heavy on blush. I think people underutilize blush. Blush is beautiful. Use a ton of blush, you guys. Like, no one uses enough blush. See, look how much blush I have on. But it looks really good against the contour, and it just doesn't look right if you don't have a bunch of blush. I'm also gonna go back in now that I have my blush brush out, and I'm gonna go to this bronze color. I'm just gonna give the top of my forehead the lightest bit of sun-kissed glow. That way I don't just have color down here in this foundation forehead. It's just a light bit of color where the sun would normally hit you, and it just makes it look a little more realistic. Now I'm gonna do eyes. The Tartelette In Bloom palette. I love this palette. It is so good. It's got a bunch of neutrals. It's better to me than the Naked palette. I always go in with a cream and go right under my brow bone. And I get a lot of it because I just want to do a little highlight here under my brow to make them pop a little bit more. And then I go in with a color that's the same color as my eyelids. For me, it's like a tan. If you have a darker skin tone, it's going to be a little bit darker brown, but just go in with whatever matches your skin tone or the closest match you can get. And this is a base that will really help you blend your eyeshadow. So what I'm doing is picking up a lot of color and packing it in So you can't see it because it's the same color as my skin tone, but it's gonna help us move the shadow a lot easier. Now I'm going in with a color that's just slightly darker than my skin tone. For me, it's just a little darker tan. So I'm putting this right here in the crease, but I'm gonna close them down, but that's exactly where I'm putting it. And go in this corner, but what I wanna do is kind of lift up, and I wanna kind of create a triangle here where it's as flat as possible right here to a point that goes near my eyebrows and then down. Almost like a cat eye, and it'll pull your eye up. So you can see I go down with a little bit of an angle, and I'm going straight across. I'm gonna buff, but lifting up. So I'm not pushing down, I'm doing small circles, but pulling that product kind of upwards. And this was just one shade darker than the one that matched my skin tone, but you can see it's putting color on my lids and it's subtle. I don't want to go crazy when I'm going into the office. Now I'm going in with something a little lighter and shimmery. I'm going to go in with this gold color and just pat it down on the base of my lids. Next, do a mascara. This is the Stretch X. I got it in one of Sephora's samplers. I really focus in the corner of my eyes because, again, it'll emphasize this corner we've created, smoking it out. And I really want to go in and make sure I get those little corner lashes. Because I got this little Tarte matte lip paint, it's gonna match the blush they gave me. I thought I would try them out for this video. I'm gonna go back to this because this is the highlight I used. I'm gonna use a small brush, go in back to my highlight color, and that's my look. I'm gonna do my hair and I'm just gonna come back and you can see the final product. So I took my hair down and just ran a straighten over the frizz, and this is the final look.